But yeah, now we're all good. Welcome back. Yeah, so we're at a pretty special point in the world. Never really been here on camera because I promised myself that I'd never really show you guys this place. I guess I can kind of now. This is all very sort of old building stuff that I was going to use. But we're going to tear it down today because I've got other plans basically, and I would like to use all of this and repurpose it to somewhere else. Also, something happened this morning. I don't really want to go into detail, but basically I'm quite angry. I was quite angry, still quite am angry. So if I'm a bit sweary, it will be because of that, okay? So, yes. But I thought this would help quite a bit, because what you do when you're angry, you break things and demolish things. So that's what we're doing here. And I guess this is also a bit of an update for you guys, like, what am I doing? Bit of an update on the world, things that are coming up. This was part of something last year, like I said, never really got used, so now we're repurposing it. But basically, you literally just going to take this thing down layer by layer. I've got an axe, I've got a couple picks. And yeah, this is all going to be repurposed as well, so this isn't going to waste. So in terms of like farms and things, there was a challenge with every farm. That's still going ahead, I haven't stopped. It's just that I've had some, well, IRL trouble, like I said. The Halloween castle, I was away a bit for that, because obviously I put 100% effort into that, and so I wasn't really on camera for videos or streams. I did do one stream, a VOD, but I guess you still have to wait until the 30th, and then on the 30th, everything sort of fell apart. And that wasn't great, so I'm hoping to rack it up for Christmas this year, end on a whopper. Really like give you some good content and stuff. I've got some great ideas I've thrown down onto paper. Now we're just kind of acting them out, so it's kind of what's going on so far. Well, I can actually tell you, in terms of the next couple of farms I want to build, it's probably going to be things like gunpowder and a couple more block material farms, or just sort of destructive ones. And the other thing is, obviously, the mob vote happens quite a while ago. I think it was 6th of October, something like that. But yeah, that happened. And then also, quite a while later, the snapshot came out for it. Now, I don't really like to play with the new features until they actually are implemented into the game fully when the update comes out, because it gives me a bit more of like a surprise of how does this work. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to do this. This is really fun, but also quite frustrating. I like kind of getting that sort of kick out of it with the new stuff. Now, I have seen a couple of videos floating about the auto crafters. I know about them. Everybody knows about them. They are in the Minecraft Live sort of video. But yeah, I haven't really played around with them at all. So I just want to be kind of surprised by it. So yeah, it does look great, because also crafters are one of the things that so many people wanted for such a long time, and it's going to make farming OP. There's going to be so many useful ways you can use them. It's just going to be epic, to be honest. And yeah, again, I do have some sort of ambitions and ideas for the autocrafters when they actually are fully implemented into the game. I've got a couple ideas that I want to play around with, using them, some creative stuff, some survival stuff, some actually stuff in the world as well. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on currently, I guess. And also, yeah, so the streams, there was one that I did before, and I will do this again, but what I'm going to do is essentially make a VOD, which is sort of a VOD. I'm going to take portions of the stream, ones that I can sort of smack together in a studio and then release that as a VOD. I think the video will be actually around half an hour long rather than the usual hour and a half or 2 hours. Just because it's easier to export, and also I try not to drag it out too much. Try to just include the best bits, I guess. Yes, funny quips, things like that, jokes. Yeah. Oh, God. Oops. This is a lot of wood. This is a lot of wood. So much wood. But yeah, you can kind of see what this is, what it was going to be, this area. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that most of you probably guessed what it is, judging by the shape of what I'm kind of destroying now. But I want to make this, I'm going to kind of redo this, I guess, as far as I can say. Redo this kind of entire thing, different place, bump it up a bunch, make it look a whole lot cooler. I'm going to have it really far out in the void as well. There's a chance I may do a couple bits of that either on video or on the stream as well, just to keep you updated. Because this one I technically can show on the stream, whereas the Halloween one I couldn't for certain reasons I didn't want to. So I plan these things out and have ideas of like how much I can show and how much I do not want to show, just because I don't really want to ruin like final bits or kind of like stories and things like that. But yeah, as far as this goes, I can pretty much show just the sort of building of this bit, a couple little update bits, maybe a couple shorts and things as well. But yeah, should be fun. And actually coming back round to the farms aspects of the world, so obviously the every farm thing. I was planning to have that done by the end of the year. I don't know if it's going to get done. But just to kind of boost that sort of idea, I've decided to do sort of an advent thing. So you see a couple YouTubers doing it. It could be on any game really. It doesn't have to be Minecraft. It could be art. It could be, well, practically anything. But the idea is that you release a video on like Advent every day of December. I'm going to do a couple farms basically, sort of mini ones, big ones as well, here and there, one for each day of December. I guess just to give you guys an update, again, what's happening in the world. Some of them will be my own designs, some of them will be other people's. Obviously I'll name the farms or put a sign down near them or give them a shout out, just because I don't really like to steal credit from other people, because it's bad. Don't do it. But yeah, I thought that just might be a good idea, to be honest. Yeah. Really got much else to say, to be honest. Oh, actually, no, one thing is, in terms of the farms I did do last time, so the bee farm and the egg farm and all of that, they are all working. I have been on to check on them. I have actually put the hives in the bee farm now, so I am producing honey, which is a block that I've needed for so long. I literally have no honey bottles or honey blocks in the world until I built that farm. And the reason I need them so much is because of, well, decoration. Honey is a great block. Bee for farms, because honey isn't technically a full block, you can use it for item filters, which is absolutely amazing. And then the other thing, I guess, redstone as well, is that you can build honey and slime block doors, which essentially shift up, down, forwards, left, right, literally anywhere you want. You can use them for flying machines as well. They somewhat act in the same way as slime blocks, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's why I need honey. Why there's been such a demand for it as well. It's completely gone. And then it will be somewhere completely different. And then of course there'll be a load of stuff on it, and yeah, that is basically how it's going to happen. But even if that does happen, then I will still be adding to it on the stream, so things are still going to happen behind the camera. But I will keep you updated, basically. I'm essentially going to make a log for everything I do using videos, I guess, on big projects like this. Because this is not the only one that I've got in mind for basically this year. This actually, speaking of which, is part of, again, I don't want to reveal too much. I will say this, the Halloween one and this one, they are part of something so much bigger. Like, so much bigger. Collectively, they are part of something absolutely colossal, massive projects that I've got going on. Which you probably won't see the details of until I've finished it. But it is like a massive project. Both theoretically and physically, I will say that. It's taken a load of planning. It's massive, and I really do hope it works out as well. Yeah, actually, another thing, I would the Halloween build with the fortress and stuff, the story and everything. It was meant to be a speed build in third person, so I was going to have a spec account or a cam account on there with me just so that I could show you me building. I did have it for one clip, but the batteries ran out, and basically the other controller I have, the lime green one, is broken. For some reason, half of the buttons don't work on it, and I've only really used it once or twice. Yeah, that's fucked. So I tried to use my brother's one. Again, we don't have any batteries, so yeah, it kind of got screwed up. We have batteries now, but what I would like to do is hopefully send my controller back in, get another one, or just get the other black controller working so I can get a spec account on when I'm doing large projects, which means you do get a different perspective, and I guess also a clearer perspective of kind of what's going on. It kind of reveals more of the entire space, whereas if I'm doing just me first person, it is a bit more tightly proportioned, or the perspective isn't as wide for you to kind of see what's going on. So I will try to adhere to that when doing this thing as well, because there will be a bit of speed building around this. So yeah. But yeah, the idea is that I thought that I would be doing this off camera, but then I guess I had the idea to make a bit of content out of it, because it is going to be on the channel as this big thing after all at some point. So you might as well see a bit of the process, but not all of it, because I still want to keep... well, all of the stuff going on top of this is going to be a secret, whereas the platform itself can technically be shown, because it's not really going to be a huge deal. It's just going to be like a base of everything that I can build on. We just need to pop back up to the top. I'm going to get rid of the remaining leaves. And actually, in terms of time for this stream as well, I'm not entirely sure how long I do have, but basically everybody's out of the house, except me, which is when I like to stream. It rarely happens now, because, again, personal issues and stuff has been going on. It rarely happens, which is why I've switched back to videos. It's not because of anything else. It's really only mainly because there's not as much time where there's people out the house when I can do the streams. Pretty much my parents work from home all day, except the weekends, and one of those weekends I work, so yeah, it's I don't really have a schedule basically. I just kind of do bits whenever I can, whenever I'm not doing other bits. It's what I do in my free time. And I do try my best to do as best as I can, to be honest, with what I'm working with, on terms of time and scheduling. Yes, the original idea was to do like a stream a week or a video a week, and I used to stream every Sunday or Saturday. Again, obviously I work one of those weekends now, so it's a bit different, and the schedule, I don't really have a schedule. So yeah. But yeah, everything's pretty much, other than that, going well so far. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Oh yeah, Remembrance Day is coming up soon, actually. So there's a likely chance that that will be a video of itself. I'll probably do like a mini short video. Actually, if you haven't seen already, I did do a bit of a 5th of November video, which is a thing that's celebrated UK. But it's basically about, well, actually, no, you can search it up, watch the video, and you'll find out. There's information in there, and also I did actually mention at the end of that video, one of my friends, CNC or Creatures and Characters, will basically, they remade or reworked the story of the 5th of November into this own sort of fantasy, very nature-based sort of gothic tale called The Tale of the 5th, or I think it was Vina Ulan's Ravika, I think. But they've basically, yeah, the names they come up with things are really unique. I think the way that he's explained it to me is that basically kind of just sit there and the words come to him. Like these random names, these random sort of elven or random words that kind of just fit into place. And then they become the names of the characters, the titles, things like that. And that's just kind of how it works, I guess. But yeah. And then the other thing, yeah, so Remembrance is coming up. Yes, so probably we'll be doing something for that. But the other thing is, also through CNC or Will, I also only recently found this out, but I don't know if you know, but I am quite a big supporter of Pride and LGBT and the community. So yeah, so through CNC I found out that on the 20th of November is actually Remembrance Day for all the transgender people who fought in the wars. So that's quite a big thing as well. So I'm going to be hopefully doing something for that too. And as you could probably, yeah, 5th of November, if you saw that video, you'll kind of get the gist of the idea of what I'm doing. Essentially building rooms in a very certain particular place that then sort of represent those sort of smaller events or holidays or things like that. But whereas the sort of massive, really world celebrated ones like Christmas, Easter, Halloween, all of that are going to be the sort of bigger structures. But yeah, the like 5th of November, Remembrance Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Children in Need is another thing this month as well. There's birthdays, things like that, World's Day, Earth Day, there's so many different types of days. There's Pride Month, there's different weeks for different visibility and awareness, so it's all going to go in, basically. all next year. Anything that I can add this year is all going to go in. They're going to have their own rooms, their own special sort of place, and every time that same event comes around that next year, I'm going to add on an extension leading off the previous room that then goes on to a next bit, which tells you a bit more about that holiday or that event or that week or that day. Yeah, so I really want to include pretty much everything and try to be as loving as I can, really. So, yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling that someone is back. And I may have to end stream. I mean, we done some decent work though. I mean, that's going to be a pain because it's literally above the void. But yeah, apart from that, we've done some decent work. Pretty much taken down the whole tree except the base. I guess this ring of leaves here, but also a couple branches. But yeah, we've done some pretty decent work. Just getting rid of this thing. And actually, with the new platform and stuff, I will be utilising a app or website that essentially gives you directions on how to build circles in Minecraft. I can't remember what it's called, but it is super useful. And another thing I will say, Chunkbase is an app or a website that you can use that essentially allows you to find structures and things. I will only really use it in creative worlds because the locate commands aren't always accurate. The only time I probably would really use it in a survival world is if I'm trying to find a very specific biome or just trying to make like a giant map for the world or things like that. So as you know, or as you don't know, I made a video where I essentially made a portal to every single biome in the game. In the overworld, and in the nether, places like that, and even in the end here, I've essentially made markers for the nether and the end, because obviously you can't make portals there. But yeah, pretty much for every biome in the overworld, I made a portal, and I did that through Chunkbase. I essentially wrote down every biome known in the game, ones that are still there. I believe they've updated the website now as well, so it's, well, the names of the biomes are more accurate. And that's essentially how I found everything on there. I used it to find coordinates, biggest places I could. And feel free to check out the video, because it's genuinely amazing. It took about... I think it took about 2 weeks to... no, a week and a half. We'll say a week and a half. To put the portals down, but the actual tunnel digging, for the lot of it, it was absolutely insane. A lot of it actually went on stream, some of them on YouTube, but yeah, it was insane, and it's one of the, it was the first sort of massive colossal challenge that I did on the world, and it's part of kind of like a series of challenges that I'm trying to do. Within a load of other challenges and a chronological list I have on my phone. But I'm basically doing every challenges, so I've done everywhere, which is the portals one. So I can literally go everywhere and anywhere whenever I want, because I have the portals hooked up everywhere. And obviously off camera I have actually gone and labelled all the portals as well, so I know where they go. When they come out from, where they lead to, all of that. So yeah, it's pretty much all hooked up. The only thing I haven't really done is made an actual sort of decoration part for the nether hub, which I guess you could call it. Yeah, I haven't really made like a decorated tunnel for the nether hub. And I reckon that's going to come up much later, because like I said, farms and things, I still really want to do that first. And actually, obviously, once I have every farm in the game, possibly then I will go ahead and do some more building, because I won't really need to, well, I won't have a need to really gather resources at that point. So yeah, that'll be epic.
5 minutes later.
Pardon me. But yeah, at that point, I won't really have to gather resources, which is great. And then there's actually the other thing, though, of every time the game gets updated, there is a chance for new farms, not only for blocks, but for animals and for items as well. So pretty much every time the game is updated, I'm going to have to end up building more and more farms, which will be a challenge, but it'll also be a bit of fun, I guess, as well, because, again, I don't really test how these things work until they actually are implemented into the game. So it's a bit of challenge, a bit of frustrating, it's quite fun to see how everything works. But yeah, basically every time the game is updated, I'm going to have to build new farms because obviously there's going to be new blocks and new ways you can do things. And I guess the idea with the farms thing is not to build every version of one farm. So obviously with wheat or pretty much any crop, wheat, beet, potatoes and carrots. So I guess I think there's like 3 ways you can build them. So you can build obviously the manual one, which is where you go and individually break and replace them. You can do that with fortunes, you actually get more loot out of it. The second one is semi-auto, so you have them on sort of like a table and the water flushes it out, but you still have to go and replace them. This one doesn't use fortunes, you probably do get a bit less drops, but you can build a much larger one for this as well, and there's many layers as you want, so that's really cool. Yeah, but the only thing is, the larger you build it, the more space you still have to fill in, so actually go and replace all the things that have been destroyed. And then the third one is the follow auto one, which is a villager powered crop farm, but basically the villager walks around as a farmer, that's their job, and they pick and replace crops, which they then try to throw to another villager, which is trapped in a box. The items end up going into a hopper and into a chest where you can then collect them. It is a bit slower because the plants do have to grow, well, no, it's about as fast as the others, but the plants do have to grow by themselves. The villager has to walk all the way around and pick everything up. But yeah, it's fully auto and you can actually stack it pretty much as high as you want. Is it a tad bit laggier because obviously all the villagers, and much more annoying to build, again, the villagers. So yeah, that's what I mean by the every farm thing. I'm not building every variation, I'm building every farm, but only one type of that farm. Which is actually, I've explained this before as well, with the spruce tree farm. So the idea with the spruce is that I'm growing double tall tree, the double wide trees, so 2x2 based ones essentially. And in doing that, it's fully manual. It's a fully manual farm where essentially I break it, it goes into water, goes into a chest. And that's just me doing that with an axe. Whereas there might be other people who have fully automatic redstone farms that take apart the spruce tree and break it. The only reason I'm going to have a mix of farms that are kind of, well, manual and auto, semi-auto, the whole mix, is because I still want to get kind of that thrill out of actually getting resources. I don't want it to become too boring, and actually just having to stand there rather than going up and actually doing stuff, because otherwise I'm not going to have too much content. And admittedly it would be faster with auto, but there's also that chance for things to break all the time with updates and things like that. Whereas with semi-auto and fully manual farms, there's less of a chance for it to break, and the mechanics pretty much stay true all the way through. So yeah, I guess that's why I have a mix of farms. Just adds a bit more of a thrill, and also just genuinely makes it a bit more fun and easier to do, I guess. And obviously, the other thing is, if I can speak properly, is that fully auto farms or semi-auto often cost more time and blocks to build. Slightly more expensive in terms of redstone resources, I guess. So yeah, and again, manual pretty much is just chucking some things down, breaking them, chucking them down, breaking them over and over again, whereas the wiring up for like auto stuff is a bit tricky. So yeah, in terms of expenses and things like that, manual probably is a better way to go, but if you're rich and you can do redstone really well, you're good at wiring things up, then yeah, go for it. But I would prefer to have a mix, just because, again, it could get a bit boring having everything automated. Right, that's almost all of the wood. Just take down this stalk, and then we can get to work on the ice. I do actually just need to take down this wool over here. I'll do that in a minute. I can just go up there. Oh, actually, there's a bit of wood there I need to get rid of too. I can just about land on here. There we go. I'm getting so much better landing as well on top of things. Like, it's insane. I was doing some mining off camera the other day. I was leaping across gaps like it was nothing. I haven't touched lava once. It was amazing. Yeah. I really have gotten to the grips with like the use of elytra and flying around and stuff. It's just a part of nature or natural instincts now. Because for a long time, even while elytra was out, I didn't really play with it too much. I wasn't fully invested in it because I didn't do massive projects like I'm doing now. I rather did like smaller bits here and there. So yeah, it was really good to see myself sort of adapting to the elytra sort of lifestyle. So quite fun, and they are incredibly useful. So I would consider yourself getting some very early game if you can. Just gonna break that. Don't really need that. Right, we're gonna take the stalk down and the wool, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'll check timing as well and things, because again, don't know if I'm gonna have time to do certain things, because I have a feeling someone's gonna be back soon. Yeah, we'll take this down. Yeah, someone's back. It's been a lovely stream. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, follow and share. This will be turned into a VOD for your leisure on YouTube. See you all later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Goodbye.